All right, people. So here we are. Finally, this is the final full recap of HeroesCon 2023. We are back, settled back in finally after a long trip, as well as just the other time surrounding that. Lots of stuff to catch up on, just some final thoughts, and still have some other books to show off because I picked up a few books and I did not do a Sunday video. So I was saving kind of all that, the last few books that I picked up, as well as my recap, some final thoughts, experience overall, and some other highlights there. So let's get into it. And yes, this part right here looks absolutely weird. It feels weird to have this empty ass space right here. But the frames I had up here for X-Men, my X-Men ones, I took those down because I took those books with me. I didn't end up getting them signed by Chris Claremont, but I took them down. They're back in the frame. I just haven't put them back up before I wanted to do this video. So they'll be back up for whatever next video I do. So yes, you just have to just ignore this massive gap on the wall there. But yes, let's get into the video. All right, people. So here we are. HeroesCon 2023 wrap-up video. Some final thoughts. Yeah, it was a fantastic trip. I'm glad I made it out there finally. I wanted to go last year for the 40th anniversary. Couldn't make it. Couldn't fit in the schedule. This year I saw the guest list and just wanted to hit another con and travel again. So I said, you know what? I'm going. Plus, Tim Townsend was there. So he's a person, a creator I've wanted to meet for several years now. And yes, I was finally happy to do that. So just a whole bunch of stuff. First, they did announce the dates for next year on this poster. I think they might have did it on their website too, but I just saw it on this poster first for 2024, June 14th through the 16th. So you got Doctor Strange there. I feel like this was Dan Brereton. Nope, Joe Jusko. I don't know why I said Brereton. But yeah, Joe Jusko on this Doctor Strange art there. So put that on the calendar if you're interested for HeroesCon 2024. I will, provided I can fit in the schedule again, I might be going back. It was a fun show. It was so much to even just go over. We're going to jump over everything. First, I want to say thanks and just a big shout out to Heroes Aren't Hard to Find, Carla Southern, who's the kind of social media or media director. I forgot her actual position, but shout out to them and her for granting me the press pass to cover the event there. We got this with some art by Charles Vest there. And then also shout out to, I talked to some other people, I don't remember who they were. But so when I went to check in the first day there, Friday morning, when I got to the show, checked into the press room, their little kind of staging area, I saw this badge there. It was actually the pro badge. And it has this art by John Romita Sr. and Jr., rest in peace, J.R.S. Har, featuring Spider-Man and Daredevil from HeroesCon 1994, I believe. And I said, that's cool as hell. I still like this art. I've seen this before, and I just like both of their art. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go back. And Sunday morning, I went, popped in there real quick. I said, hey, I saw this badge, and I was wondering if at the end of the show, if I could get one just because I like the art. And I said, yeah, just come back near the end of the show. And if we still have any, we'll go ahead. We'll give you one. So I did right before I left, and I had to dip out for the airport. I popped back in there. I said, hey, I popped in this morning to see if you had any more badges. Oh, she said, yeah, we got them right over here. I'll get you one for you. And I said, thank you. So I appreciate that just because, again, it's just one I just wanted just because it's cool art. And I keep all my convention lanyards, convention badges. I love lanyards. I don't know why. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I just love lanyards. So I just have a bunch of these. And from conventions and just outside of conventions, I just have lanyards. I don't know why. I don't even use them that much, but I just like them. So shout out to the organized Heroes Aren't Hard to Find and Carla Southern. So just so much to go on. I got to do a few books to show off still, and then I'll do a brief recap of, like a quick recap of all the books that I did pick up. So this is everything there. So we'll jump into that first, and then we'll come back and show off the other books that I got here. So let's jump into that right now. So as I said, just want to do a brief recap of everything that I had signed or didn't get signed, and as well as everything that I picked up. But since I did the hauls on each of those days, I just won't linger on anything like I did before. So starting with the two books I didn't get signed, because I just didn't get a chance to go to Randy Emberlin, and then JR obviously did not show up because of passing of John Romita Sr. I did get panel or my program signed, talked about that. We have Amazing Spider-Man 555, got Tim Townsend signed that, as well as that, and the other set of those that I did have them sign, I already put back in the frame to go back on the wall. So that's why I just didn't show it here. And then the other 200 variant there. So all those signed by Tim Townsend, just need Mike Carey on that. And then onto the books picked up. I got Superman 1, Rebirth. Finally got that #1. Found both of those. Catwoman 1, Dollar Books. Dollar Book. Already read that one, actually. Got the whole Wrecking Crew in there. I don't think there's some other appearances. Oh, Ghost Rider's in there, obviously, on the cover there. So you got everybody. Team Up figure, what the hell? Spider-Man, Daredevil, Electro. And I think Blizzard's in there as well. So Mark Spector, Moon Knight. We got Hobgoblin and Spider-Man symbiote costume, glow in the dark Ghost Rider. G.I. Joe 53. I realize I already have a copy of that one, so I have to double check to see if it's the actual direct edition or the newsstand. So I haven't done that yet. And then FF 232, the beginning of John Byrne's run. That was in the Dollar Book. So cool cover. I think that's Diablo right there. Bat, right? And then we get to the even better stuff. Everything from my main runs I picked up, going in alphabetical order there. We got ASM 204, got Black Cat there, 210, first appearance of Madam Web. That was one of the first purchases of the weekend on Friday. 255, 237, 255, Stillman, and Ghost. I think it's Red Ghost or just Ghost. Can't remember. 290, Avengers 360. Get that bronze cover with Vision there. Avengers Annual 12, Cap 246. The Rat cover 272, and then 320 was Scourge. And on to my main man, Double D. We got 22, 32, and 42. One of these is actually, I think it's 32 or 42 I already have, but it is going to be an upgrade. And this I think is just one, it was just cool ass cover. Just the colors just kind of pop. 48 there. 135, jumped way up to 135, and 143. I think these were, I forgot which ones. These two might have been the actual first purchases of the weekend, right before I picked up that ASM 210. And then those 4 Daredevil books I actually got together. So I got a little discount on all those. But that's everything that I picked up and had signed. Back to the rest of the video. All right, so there's everything that I had signed and, did not have signed and then picked up as well. And I'll touch on this one again because I don't know if I probably mentioned all the creators that I had signed either online somewhere. But so again, this is one of my favorite highlights from any convention is getting the program signed by some creators. So for this one, we got Jamal Igo, Dexter Vines, Tua Lote, Laura Martin, Jeff DeCal, Steve Epting, Ron Garney. Damn it. That was, who else? Laura Martin, did I say Laura Martin? Tim Townsend, and that might be it. I just have to remember all the names. It's 9 names, and sometimes I forget like one, or I'll say duplicates of them all. But I made sure I made notes this time, and I did inside as well. So yeah, Jeff DeCal, Steve Epting, Ron Garney, Jamal Igo, Rick Leonard, that's the last one. Tua Lote, Laura Martin, Tim Townsend, and Dexter Vine. So pleasure to meet all of them. Some of them I have met before. Ron Garney, and Jamal Igo, Dexter Vines. I met them before. Everybody else was new. So again, Tim Townsend, my main man. So just him, Chris Bacalo, just one of my favorite art teams. Talked about that ad nauseum. And I was getting into the other books that I picked up last day because I did not do a Sunday wrap up video, and I would have shown these books off, but didn't do that. So, but I was able to find some nice little bangers here. Amazing Spider-Man 83. Which is, I'm pretty sure I don't know if I got this one on the last day. I didn't have it in my notes for a Friday or Saturday pickup, but if I did, then I just retread this. So this is the first appearance of the Schemer, who is Kingpin's son. I still need 85 for that pre-issue arc there, and it's kind of Spider-Man versus the Schemer versus Kingpin, all kind of tangled up. Now this one was an absolute surprise pickup. I had no intention of even coming across this book. I saw some other more expensive copies, but this one was just an absolute surprise. This is one of those you can't pass. If you came across this one, you're just snatching it up. And this was one I had no intention of buying it. I almost walked away from it, and I'm glad I didn't because I just think about how much I had spent, and this wasn't one of the ones I was after. Like specifically, I had a short list of some other books I was after, including this final book here, which is an X-Men book. So, but when I saw this, when I was digging through a box that I'd already been through, I think I maybe had been through that earlier. And the dealer was like, oh yeah, we just put this in here. And I kept eyeing it. And I kind of pushed it off. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this one. Then I said, you know what? It's too good of a deal to pass up. So we get the first appearance of Red Guardian, Avengers number 43. An absolute steal. It does have some, it's got some wear, you know, it's been red. It has a little crease up, color breaking crease up there, but I was like, hey, is that a tear or crease? And then he popped it open. He's like, yeah, it's just a crease. And then so he popped it open, kind of looked at the back cover, and I said, he's got to do it, so I couldn't pass it up. It's just one of those, you see it, and it's like, what? Oh, yeah, I'm taking that at all. Like, definitely. So, got some floating heads there, Hawkeye and Hercules there in the stupid boots. But yeah, it was just a deal. So, one of the things I always do, and I've talked about this before, and I inspect my books, looking for Marvel value stamps, cutouts, looking for back covers. Like, hey, if I'm spending, like, yeah, $1, $2 books, $5, whatever, even $10 sometimes, whatever. But like anything over that, yeah, I need to see the back cover. I need to see what this book looks like, because I can pay $20. Like, hey, yeah, it's a cool book, but then you open it up and the back cover is just beat to hell. No, I don't want that. So I always inspect my books. I was like, hey, can you pop this open so I can look at the back cover? And here we have Avengers 49. Got Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver there. Got both of that one and this one from the same dealer. Avengers number 50, To Tame a Titan. And actually, both of those books in the last book I got from the same dealer. It was actually those two. And maybe the Spider-Man. No. There's another book I got, and then I walked around to another section. I paid for the book, and then I walked around to like another section of the booth, like right before I walked away. And it's like, oh, you know what? Let me get this as well, too. So I think that's what happened. Actually, no, these two were some of the last books. But the last one, this is the book that I had on my short list of books. I said, I want this book. I need to find this book. And I wasn't settling, so I saw some other copies. The prices weren't great. The conditions didn't quite match. And I said, I'm not doing this one. But I did see this copy earlier. And I said, I wonder if I need, like, I'm going to go back. If I don't find any other cheaper ones, I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to get a deal on this one. And so I was going through and I said, you know what booth was that? I went back there and I've been there, probably bought a couple books from them already throughout the weekend. I went back, we flipped through, they had 3 copies, so I was kind of comparing them. I was like, this is the copy I'm getting. Like, it just looks so good. And heading to the lady, I said, hey, what can we do for this one? She said, cash or card? Cash, of course. And she said this. I said, boom, I'm doing it. And so in the card, I was like, thank you. And I really, before I put it away and walked away, I sat there and I looked at it. I was just standing there. And I glanced up at the lady and she could tell, like, I was in pure X-Men fanboy mode, because I just had this pure, like, this huge grin on my face. I could feel it, and I could see from the look on her face, she was just like, that's a happy collector right there. Like, that is pure collecting joy right here. So let's jump right in. It's Neil Adams cover, X-Men number 59. Yes, this absolute beauty of a cover here. Cyclops or Sinnohs. I love my Cyclops and Sinnohs covers. Covers featuring Cyclops because he's one of my favorite X-Men, and I love the Sinnohs. So when you put both of them together on the cover, I absolutely love it. So it's just a book I just haven't been able to find a good copy. Some prices online too expensive, and when I see them in person, they're too expensive at conventions, or the condition wasn't what I was hoping for, and I didn't want to settle on a beat up copy. But this one just looks so good, and I just couldn't believe it was finally there. It was one of the last pickups I had of the weekend, and of course, I had the snatching of the X-Men book. I said, I'm going to find X-Men 59. I have to. And not just like, oh, I'm just going to go buy any ratty copy. Like, I was still going to, like, compare and pick the best copy. And this one was it. And it caught the deal. And, yeah, I was just, this is fantastic. So it's just a cool-ass cover, the last X-Men. You can see it one more time. But, yes. So, yeah, that was everything I got from HeroesCon. Again, last day, few books, nothing too crazy, but some nice little gems for the collection there. And yeah, just some more thoughts. It was just such a fantastic weekend. And what I'll say about HeroesCon is I've been going to conventions for the better part of 18 years. And I've been to one-day conventions that are held in like those kind of hotel ballroom kind of things, or the big 3-4 day extravaganza conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. So like I've seen all of them finish the stretches, and I feel like HeroesCon bridges the gap between those smaller one-day shows with the full weekend like spectacles, because you get like so many comic dealers who are just bouncing around. And I even heard it from other YouTubers. Apparently there are a bunch of YouTubers in attendance over the weekend, and I'm hearing the kind of same things, just bouncing around from dealer to dealer. There's just dealers, so many comic vendors there, tons of deals to be had. Books, I talked about this on Twitter, and there were just books from like dollar. It might have been some 50-cent dealers there as well, but $1, $2 books up to multi-$1,000 books. You saw some of my footage from Metropolis Comics. They do auctions. They had some golden age bangers there, high dollar books, highly graded, and just tons, like from all sorts of dealers, just prices and just fantastic books ranging from all the ages. So there was just books all over the place. There was a few cosplayers, not as many as I was expecting, and I was expecting a bigger rush throughout especially on Saturday. I don't know if it was just because of the layout and the space where they kind of provided this, where it was kind of set up and organized that way, just so you're not, if anybody's been to any bigger conventions, you know what Saturdays are like, Fridays and Saturdays, and even some Sundays too, where you are packed sometimes, either at booths or in aisles. It's just a struggle to get through. But I don't know, I think they had some wider aisles, so you had a lot of space afforded to people. You could browse through long boxes without worried about people going through. You could squeeze through areas without having to say, oh, excuse me, or wait for people to pass through to let you through or anything like that. So a lot of space afforded. There's a lot of, and one of the things I always appreciate at any convention, areas where they have tables and chairs so you can go ahead and sit down, especially people with families. So you need to sit down. And one thing I always like to do, I didn't do it this time at all. I might have did it once, where you had to sit down and just kind of set my books in and like make a note of the books I just bought so I don't pick up duplicates at the next section. But, and speaking of families, saw lots of families out there, some kids cosplaying, kids buying comics, families together, some of the YouTubers out there had their families there. So that's always just a great sight at the convention. So there's a whole lot going on there. And just, again, just a dope show. So I'm glad I finally made it out there. Yeah, just a lot. And they had events. I went to a couple panels. So then they put together the John Romita Sr. tribute panel, kind of last minute, when I had to attend that one and kind of tweeted from there. So yeah, it was just great showing there. And that's what I feel like you need that, especially for when you're talking about a weekend convention. You can't put on a 3-day show, 2 or 3 day show, and then just have it be kind of flea market style where it's just vendors. Like that wouldn't really do it. I feel like that doesn't really sell it and sell the convention experience. So having the panels there, the cosplay contest and other things like that, I think that's perfect, where you still don't have to worry about the Hollywood effect and all the big movie studios and everything about celebrities and blah, 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 which turns some people off, but also kind of helps bolster the convention experience for a lot of people, brings a lot of people in and puts more money into those events, but also kind of raises the price up. And as far as the ticket price, I think it was $65 for the weekend, which is a fantastic price. And so just even pure that, like I can even say that just, obviously I had a press pass, but just that by itself is a fantastic deal and just get you access to a fantastic show for a full weekend. Some shows, there are some bigger shows where $65 is just one day. So like you could go to maybe, I think New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, like you might be paying $65 or more just for a Friday or Saturday ticket. So just to pay that for an entire weekend and have access to just, again, there's so many comic dealers. I was just bouncing around so much. I only hit one booth that had dollar comics, and because I was after, I knew I was kind of what I had in mind, and some of the books that I was going to be looking for were going to be a little more expensive, but when I passed there, I just kind of flipped through and I ended up finding some cool books. So I'm definitely not going to turn that down. But yeah, just so many good things there. And I had some other thoughts. I don't even know. It was just a damn good put together show. So I'm glad I went there. Shout out to the organizers there. And I'm definitely looking forward to possibly returning next year and just having an even better time in the city. I won't touch on too much there. I did see a little bit of Charlotte. Had some good food while I was out there. And I talked about Bojangles in the convention center, which I felt was absolutely overrated. I didn't understand it. But Smashburger, I did have Smashburger twice. When I got there from the airport, and then when I was leaving, I got it on the way out and to finish my burger on the plane. Smashburger is a banger. Absolutely. I'll take Smashburgers over Five Guys anytime. They need a Smashburger up here. I would hit that place frequently. I had a couple of diners for some food, some good food. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. It was just a good weekend, and can't think of anything else that I will say. I don't know what the security measures were like because they did have cops on guard, a lot of police there, police presence inside and out, and they kind of you walk through like this little turnstile before you actually get to the convention floor, and I don't know what that did. I don't know if there was. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I don't know if it was like a metal detector. I don't think so. So I'm not really sure how that worked. Maybe it was something to keep track of attendance or like just the number of people coming into the show floor. So I'm not quite sure what that was, but I don't know. Just in the world that we're in, that's just a thing that you have to think about security and just whatever else. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for HeroesCon 2023. I did post a couple other pictures, so my full 3-day photo galleries are up online, genoscomics.com. The Sunday one wasn't as extensive. There's only, less than 20 pictures, but I was just kind of zooming around the floor, grabbing up some more books, taking a few pictures when I could, and talking to creators. So nothing too extensive there, but overall, just got some nice shots of the show floor, a little bit of footage, and yeah, I had some other thoughts. I can't even remember what they were, but yeah, so that was that. Wrap it up. Share some of your thoughts in the comments below. If you were at HeroesCon, if you're interested in conventions, definitely drop your questions in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. I probably would, if I get enough questions, or I would probably put this prompt out there, or like a primer. Like, hey, I want to do like a convention Q&A for people who've never gone, or are curious, or who want to do more at conventions, and just have more questions. So definitely drop those in the comments below. Any thoughts about my haul, the books I picked up, just share those in the comments below. Again, it was just fun. So yeah, that was that. We're gonna wrap this up. So yes, again, if you're interested in more comic book content, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like this, genoscomics.com, the blog, and I'm active on Twitter and Instagram, definitely trying to boost that activity up. So yes, Genos Comics there. So yes, happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is Genos Comics. Thanks for watching and peace out.